What are you tolerating right now that you should be terminating? What role are you playing that no longer serves you? Where are you pouring out too much and taking in too little? Or where are you pushing yourself off to the side and putting everybody else ahead of you? And what would it feel like if you just had a moment to just woo-sa? Because that's the thing that happens again when we're playing small or we're holding back, we're dimming our light to make somebody else feel comfortable. And that is 50 shades of crazy. We are by nature givers, and yet we have to be wise in our giving. And here's what I will tell you is, baby, stop playing small because they're not going to care one way or the other. So you might as well show up, take up space, and be that version of yourself. Welcome to Conversations with Roz Clark, and I'm going to jump right in with some really good news for you. You do not have to stay stuck where you are. So if you are feeling frustrated, you are feeling overwhelmed or underappreciated, the good news is you do not have to stay stuck where you are. And I can speak from this firsthand because I stayed in a 50 Shades of Crazy marriage for 30 years, and I was able to walk away from it, go through some challenges, and then rebuild and come back better and stronger than ever, and have helped some other people to do the same thing in the process. So I created what I call the Rebirth Framework, and I want to share it with you right now. This is just me sharing with you what I share with my clients, what I used myself to recreate and rebuild my life. So there's 3 steps in this framework, and the first step is reconnect. So reconnect with who you know yourself to be. Or if you're not sure, like, I don't even know myself anymore, then reconnect with that version of you who can get you from where you are to where you want to be. So for me, like I said, I was in this crazy situation for over 30 years because I'm loyal and because I kept thinking I could fix it or make it better or EIEIO. And then finally I was like, girl, let's look at it a different way. And here's the thing, I turned 21 in Paris. I turned 21 in Paris, touring with a classical organization, singing through all the countries in France. And that was who I was because I grew up in a blue collar working class neighborhood, but I had big, big dreams. And so I always knew that I wanted to be on stage and I knew that I wanted to travel. And so at 21, I had done that. But by the time I was 30, I had gone in a different direction. I had come back, I had gotten married. My second child was born with special needs. And so I was just, in the grind of making sure that I was advocating for him and doing everything that I could to keep him alive and help him to survive. And in that process, I lost myself. I lost the connection to that other part of me. So I was still the strong person. I was still the determined person. I was still the one that was nurturing and loving and EIEIO. And I don't regret any of that. And yet, what I did do was I allowed myself to lose sight of who I am and how I want to show up in the world. And so I started accepting things that maybe I shouldn't have. And I started, one thing at a time because like stuff doesn't just, right away. It's one thing at a time. It's one fire that you're putting out at a time. It's one crisis that you're putting out at a time. So if you felt like that, like you've done so much and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, how did I get here? Like, what am I doing? Because you keep doing what feels like the right thing at the right time. But each time that you do something and you compromise your gift, you compromise your dream, you compromise your sense of self, you begin to lose yourself over time. Sometimes it's one incident, and yet I have found with the people that I've worked with in my own experience, it's situations over time. So if you like take a moment and just say, like I said, okay, well, how did I get here? And not ask it in an accusing way, but ask it in a curious way. Like, what choices did I make that weren't for my highest good? Did anything come to mind? I'm sure some people are like, yeah, 10 things. And here's the thing, you can release all of that. You don't have to judge yourself. You just have to become aware and then say, okay, who do I know myself to be? What do I know that I want in life? What are my dreams? What are my passions? What is it what have I put on the back burner for far too long? And begin to reconnect with that part of you. Celebrate that part of you. And sometimes we hide that part of ourselves because it makes other people feel uncomfortable, or they don't get us, or we feel bigger than life to other people. And here's what I will tell you is, baby, stop playing small, because they're not going to care one way or the other. So you might as well show up, take up space, and be that version of yourself. So when you're trying to figure out how do you get back to who you are, to move forward to who you want to be, give yourself time, give yourself grace. Ask the questions with curiosity, not with blame. Don't blame yourself and don't blame the other people. Because here's the thing, people are going to let you do as much for them as possible as long as you can. So, or as long as they can get it from you. So don't be mad at people because you did the most. And then also don't be mad at yourself that you're in a position now that says, okay, I think I want to do some things differently. I want to stop and do things differently. So that's the thing that you get to do. And if you're like, Roz, it has been so long, I don't even know where to start. Start with this question: what were you known for, or what did you love to do that you haven't done in ages? So what is that? I like to roller skate. I like to draw. I love live music, and I haven't been to a concert in years. Whatever those things were that brought you joy, that were a big part of who you are, go back to that. There's a great scene in a movie called Center Stage. And, the young woman is like, a professional ballerina, and she's, she's kind of gone to the pinnacle, and yet she feels lost. And the artistic director takes her into a studio and says, put your hand on the bar and go back to the basics. And sometimes we just have to go back to the basics. Like when it was simpler, what was that? Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? Go back to when it was simpler. Go back to where you felt free. Think about what that felt like, what lit you up, what made you smile, and reconnect with that part of yourself. So that's the first step in the framework. And the second step is, I've kind of alluded to it a little bit anyway. You have to release. You have to release what happened. Like, and I know I'm doing a lot of references right now, but the scene in The Lion King where Rafiki hits Simba in the head, and Simba's like, why did you do that? And he says, it doesn't matter. It's in the past. So that part too, release what happened. You cannot change it. You can't do anything different. Like for me, I could be like, oh my God, I spent 30 years, blah, 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 blah. And yet what I also did was I spent 30 years being an amazing one, an amazing mother, an amazing wife, actually, an amazing woman, except that the way that I did it did not serve my highest good because I didn't take care of myself. while I was taking care of everyone else. So I can just look at that and say, okay, what parts of that do I keep? What parts of me? Because I am, my love language is acts of service. It brings me joy. I love to cook. So like think about like what brings you joy? What do you do that brings you joy? And how can you do it in a way that is safe and a way that serves you so that you're not like just pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, and yet you can stay within the thing, your love languages, the way that you show up in the world, the way that you feel, um I don't even have the right word, the way that you feel affirmed. That's a great word. So the way that you feel affirmed, and do that, and yet do it in a way that there's balance. So like think about that for a minute. Where do you need more balance in your life? Where are you pouring out too much and taking in too little? Or where are you pushing yourself off to the side and, just putting everybody else ahead of you? Like, what does that look like for you? What does that feel like for you? And what would it feel like if you just had a moment to just woo sa? Like that moment to say, just exhale. And that's what the release is about. Because if you're holding on to anger, or you're holding on to resentment, or you're holding on to judgment, like if you're doing this, there's no way for you to accept anything. You've got to release that so that you can begin to reconnect. You can begin to, you know, allow situations and people to pour into you. And it may be, child, it may be something as simple as taking a nap. Because like I know for myself, because I'm just such an alpha energy, like I just go, 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 go. And it's like, well, who said you had to? So we make up these things that we do. There's a way that we keep doing things again that doesn't necessarily serve us. Like the world is not going to end if you take a nap in the middle of the day, or you take a day off and go walk through a museum, or go to the beach, or go swimming, like whatever that thing is. Like, is there a bike hanging in your garage that you haven't ridden in so long? Like get on the bike and just go for a ride, or whatever that is, go fishing. Everybody, we have those things. And it's funny because one of my kids, one of my kids by the heart, I was thinking about him today, and I was like, oh, I need to text him, because I was like, I feel a ballet bar in my spirit right now. Like I haven't been in a dance studio in, oh my God, almost 2 years. Okay, note to Roz, take your own advice. And so I was just gonna like text my son and like say, I need a ballet bar. And so those are the things, like what could you do that you haven't done in a long time that would just make you smile, just make you feel freer, lighter? Like just tune into that idea. Like what came up for you? And look, if you have to stop and pause this, this recording, like go get a notebook and write this stuff down. Like use this to keep moving in the directions of your dreams, to reconnect with yourself. So, like releasing situations, releasing anger, and releasing things that no longer serve you. So there's a way that you can release and not have to have all that other energy attached to it. After me, you're first. Yes, after me, you're first. Do you want to just say that out loud sometime? Like you have been there for everyone else. You have checked all the boxes. You have done everything by the rules. You have played the game according to the rules. And yet now you're in that space that says, is this all there is? There's got to be more. And here's the good news. There absolutely is more. There is more joy, vibrancy, and purpose available to you. And you just have to stake your claim and say that very thing. It's my turn now. And I created the Awaken Your Dream virtual retreat to help you do just that, to reclaim your dream, to reclaim your voice, to create the impact about the things that matter most to you. You've done all the right things, and now it's time to do right by you. This is your chance to step up, to move forward, to embrace those things that you are so passionate about. And to be honest, the thing that the world needs most from you and for you right now. It's okay to do what matters most to you. It's okay to make sure that you're okay. So join me for the Reclaim Your Dream virtual retreat. It is the reset that your soul has been longing for. Together, we will map out your next. We will name your next and map out your next. So click the link to get more information, and I look forward to seeing you and serving you. Be well. Peace. What are you tolerating right now that you should be terminating? Ooh, I love that. As Les Brown would say, write that down, please. What are you tolerating right now that you should be terminating? And again, like I said, it doesn't have to be a big, grand pronouncement. There doesn't have to be a whole lot of angst and animosity attached to it. It can just be, you know what? This is no longer working for me. And it might be something that you have to do slowly over a period of time. It may be that you make yourself less available, or it may be like this ends today. And only you can determine what that is. Only you can decide if it is a process, if it is just a stepping back, or if it is this ends today. And whatever that is, give yourself grace and permission to do exactly that. What does that feel like for you? Just taking that moment of saying, oh, wait a minute. There is a way that I can put me first. Like I can make it about me and be okay with it. Because like that is the rebirth framework. Like I know when I left that marriage after 30 years, and like I said, I went through some challenges because um, I had planned to leave in a different way, and then things escalated, and I had to leave sooner than I anticipated. I went through a period of homelessness. And then I found a beautiful condo that was in my budget that I was able to live in. And within a year's time, I was able to rebuild. So I went back to Paris. And it was really cool because, like I said, I turned 21 in Paris. And then I returned again for my birthday. And this time I was 60. So that's how much time had passed. So, what I tell people is, I went back to celebrate my birth and my rebirth. And so that was part of the process. You know, I reconnected with that bold dreamer. It wasn't like trying to recapture my youth, it was just reintegrating that part of me, that bold, fearless dreamer that was like, yes, I can go to Paris. Yes, I can be that person. And so I did that. After all that time, I took a solo trip to Paris, first class all the way, had an amazing time. One of my girlfriends joined me later on, met me, you know, like midway through my trip. And then we took the train down to the Riviera, and it was just amazing because I had taken the time to first rebuild and then reconnect with that part of me. And I was able to do that because I released that other part. I released it and let it go. And was it easy? No, of course not. And yet I knew it was for my best and highest good. So I was willing to release, willing to let go so that I could make room for my joy, make room for the next iteration of who I was and how I was showing up in the world. And baby, when I tell you it was worth it, like that's the thing, you know, waiting around to see if karma is a bitch and they're going to get theirs, let it go. Because what if they do? Does seeing it help you? And you're like, yes, girl. But actually, it doesn't. Because again, if you're attached to that, if you're attached to the outcome, you're attached to the energy, and you do not want that in your life. I promise you. So release it, let it go. So, in that process of rebirth, reconnect, release, and here's the good one, rewrite. You get to rewrite your story. You get to cast yourself in a new role. So if you were the martyr, you don't have to be the martyr anymore. If you were the victim, you never were. You just allowed yourself to be cast that way or see yourself that way. You don't have to be the victim anymore. In my case, if you were the rescuer, you don't have to rescue anymore. Let people live with the outcomes of their choices. One of my dear friends all the time says, "Who am I to deny you the experience of the outcomes of your choices?" So, as much as you do want to save people because you care about people, and yet the challenge may be their gift. That may be the part that brings them to the best and highest version of themselves. And again, you don't have to be there to see it. You don't have to attach yourself to it. You can just let them go and let them have their own experience. And what you can just say is, I am no longer connected to that. And I had a client who did that so beautifully. She had been through some challenges both professionally and personally, and was in a space like, I don't know what next looks like. I know that I want more. And we had to even do the work around, not only do you want more, you deserve more. And so we kept doing the work. And what was so beautiful is, like, she literally rewrote her story because she loved telling stories. And that was a part of her that she forgot about. And so she was invited to speak at an event. So we worked on her speech where she got to tell different stories, some of her favorite stories, and she weaved it in. And they weren't even her stories, they were things that she had watched or things that she had read, but she was an amazing storyteller. And so she was able to share her points and her principles using stories to weave it in. And things just took off from there. She got invited to be on different boards and host different events and be a keynote speaker. It just opened up because she reconnected with that part of her, and she rewrote her story literally by sharing stories. So, how could you rewrite your story? And sometimes it takes, like with my client, she needed a coach, somebody to help coach her through that. And it was a beautiful process that I enjoyed doing. And because I have a background in arts and entertainment, it was really easy for me to help her through that process. And yet, watching that unfolding, the beauty of her coming into her own and reconnecting with her own joy and her power and just her light, because that's the thing that happens again when we're playing small or we're holding back, we're dimming our light to make somebody else feel comfortable. And that is 50 shades of crazy. And we do it so naturally because, most of the people who follow me are heart-centered leaders or entrepreneurs or whatever. And so we are by nature givers. And yet we have to be wise in our giving. We have to be wiser in our giving so that when we are planting seeds, we're planting them in good soil. We're not just rescuing everybody or jumping in like da 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 da. That's not serving them or us. And so there's a way in which we can show up as the best version of ourselves in a very healthy way. So that's what you want to do when you are in this rebirth position, this rebirth process, that you're looking to say, okay, I feel stuck and I don't want to stay here. So what do I do? And like I said, you reconnect with that part of you that is longing to live out loud, and then you release that and those that are no longer serving you. And then you rewrite. You write a better story. You write a better ending. And it's so funny. One of my daughter's favorite shows is Once Upon a Time, and it's this really cool take on fairy tales, and they rewrite the stories, and there's a book that they can look in and see what happened to them, and it's a whole lot of back and forth, but it's beautifully shot and wonderfully acted, and just really this curious way of looking at fairy tales in a new way. And they're rewriting their story, and you get to rewrite your story. Like, you get to have your once upon a time moment. You get to have your happy ending because you become the person that is writing it. Because now you've done the research and you've done the work and you're looking and you're saying, you know, how do I do this differently? And so ask yourself this question: what role are you playing that no longer serves you? And it may be multiple roles because we play different roles in different places. So, what role are you playing that no longer serves you? And take a moment with that. Take a moment to journal it. Take a moment to breathe through it. Take a moment to meditate on that and do it, like check in on a regular basis so that you can start moving in a direction that brings you joy, that you can create that freedom lifestyle that you've always wanted, that you can create and have the impact that you're longing to have, that you're making a difference in a way that makes sense for you. And so give yourself grace and space and permission to do that, because I keep saying it. And now, the world needs you now more than ever. It needs the true, authentic you. It needs the gifts and visions and mission driven you more than ever. So if you're in a situation, like I said, that you're feeling unappreciated, overlooked, overwhelmed, and you also know that there's so much more that you want to do, so much more that you want to share. There is something that only you can do. Like the impact that you have, the potential to have impact. You're pregnant with possibility. That's what rebirth is about. Bringing that next part of us, that best part of us out, and giving birth to our dreams so that we make a difference in this world. That is what I want to encourage you to do. So I hope that you will go back and replay this. I hope that you are journaling this, that you continue you know, um, to revisit this and to write through it. And look, leave me a comment. So do this for me. I would love for you to, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so that you know the next time that I'm dropping some content for you. Because not only are there solo episodes, there's been some great conversations. I have some really exciting conversations lined up. And so I want to share and support you in you becoming the next great iteration of who you know you're capable and meant to be. So leave a comment here. Let me know what resonated with you. Share a thought, an idea, a question. I check my messages on the regular. I answer. I'm always so happy to hear from you and happy to share with you. And so stay connected. There's different opportunities to connect with me more directly, to take a deeper dive, look in the program notes and hit me up. If you are ready to go for a deeper dive, let's talk about it, see if we're the right fit. And if we're not, I am happy to refer you to somebody who I think could support you. So I'm grateful to have you here. I'm excited to serve you. I'm humbled that you tune in, and I thank you for the comments. If you're new to my channel, like I said, hit like, subscribe, and notification. If you're coming back, thank you for coming back. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for your comments. I'm so excited to serve you. And so I think that we've covered that all. So the rebirth framework: reconnect, release, rewrite. And if you are really ready to take that next right step, I'm here to support you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to cheer you on. So for now, I will remind you to continue to think big and dream even bigger. I'll see you soon. Be well. Peace.